Welcome to Session Sunday. Hi guys, it's Jack Edwards, and in today's video we're going to be focusing on defensive transition. But before we get into this week's video, make sure to leave us a like and subscribe, and if you missed last week's video, click on the link above. Okay, so moving into the first part of this week's session, we're going to be working on just a little technical practice, okay, which is going to be focusing on different movements to then looking to block the ball. But before we get into it, let's have a look at how many players we're working with this week and the equipment that we'll be using. So in terms of players for this week, we are going to have 12 players. Now, we're not going to be using goalkeepers, okay, but we can adapt it to use goalkeepers as well, especially in the small-sided game at the end. Now, so in terms of the equipment, we're going to be using balls, bibs and cones, okay, and if you don't have smaller goals to use, you can use poles to set out the area. Now, in terms of the setup for this part of the session, so where the cones are here, okay, you're going to have 10 yards of depth, okay, and then you're going to have between 5 and 10 yards either side, okay. So you can go to maximum 20 yards width and then 10 yards depth in there, and then you want 15 yards between this player and the goal there as well. So the goal will just be behind the cones here. Now, what the players are going to be doing, okay, so it's a different range movement. So the players are going to sprint to the cone, then they're going to transition to a back pedal. Once they come around this cone, they're going to transition again into a shuffle to come across the goal, okay, and then block the shot, okay. Now, when they block the shot, they want to keep it away from this player who's at the shot. So they're trying to get it away from goal to make sure they don't just stop as they make contact with it, get it as clear as they can. Now, the player who's then blocked will come to the back of this cue. The player who's shot will go to the back of this cue. Next player gets ready. And then we go again. So accelerate, slow down, low body position, transition to the back pedal, stay nice and light on the feet, come around here, face the ball, come across, block, and then we go again. So you're going to set two of these areas up, okay, for the first part of the session. And then after a set amount of time, you could go the opposite way as well. So they're working on the movements, working on the opposite sides. So accelerate out, okay, cover that ground quickly, then look to slow down, transition, okay, into the back pedal. So low body position, keep the knees bent, okay, heels off the floor, okay, make sure we're checking the shoulders when they're going backwards. And then as we move around with the back pedal to shuffle, face that ball, again, low body position to shuffle across, and then contact through the ball after we've made the block. We will now move into our first animation before moving on to part 2 of this week's session. Now moving into part 2 of this week's session, we're now focusing on transitioning to defend in a 1v1. Now, in terms of the setup for this part of the session, now what we're going to have here, so where these cones are here and these cones are, there's going to be 15 yards in between them. Where these cones are here, okay, there's going to be 10 yards, and then there's going to be a further 10 yards between them and the goal, or you could go a little bit further and go 15. Then the width in between the two goal areas here will again be 20 yards, okay, and then the width between these two here will be 10 yards, okay, so 20, 10, 10, 15, 10, 10, so 40 going across with the depth there. Now, how it's going to work is, so these players are going to be the defenders, these are going to be the defenders, these are going to be the attackers. The defender looks to dribble the ball, okay, to the cone here. They have to stop the ball dead before the player runs. Then they're going to transition into a back pedal. So the same will happen this side. Dribble, stop the ball, back pedal. So as they're backpedaling, this player looks to get this ball, okay? And then this player looks to get themselves across. So when this player drives up to this ball, this player will have backpedaled and looks to make their way across, okay? To then go and defend. So if the 20 yards is too big, okay, or the 15 yards isn't long enough, just increase it. So that can be 20, that can become 15, okay? But try a little bit large for now, so the player's got to try and cover a bit of ground. So then what we're looking for is, once these players have backpedaled around, this player's back around, they're trying to get across here. So then as this player's sprinting in, as this player's backpedaling, so they've got a little bit shorter backpedal to go to. They're then looking to sprint across. This player looks to take the ball, okay, out of the feet and then try and score. This player looks to get in and block, and if they're in there even quicker, get in to close down and then try and defend the 1v1. Same here. So this player might just be there, getting there, and as they make the shot, they can get a block on it. Okay, so it's those different movements again, okay? Going from the attacking scenario to a defensive scenario, okay? Focusing on our body shape again, our movements, covering that ground quickly, okay? And having that light switch mentality to switch into defensive mode. Now, after it's finished, okay, the players who've done the attacking will go to their defensive side here. Players who've defended will go to the attacking side. So this player goes there, this player goes there. Each team starts with the ball again, okay, and then again, drive up into space, stop the ball, quick backpedal. By the time they backpedal there, this player won't even have reached the ball, okay, or won't even be close to it because it's only a short distance. Then as they're coming across halfway, that's when this player will be getting towards that ball. So that's when they've got to start thinking, right, do we close them down or do we go and block the ball? Okay, so making those quick decisions. Do we try and stop the shot, okay, or do we go down and close down and win the ball back in a 1v1? Or like we say, do we just go and block it and get the ball clear away from goal? Every time the team keeps the ball out, they get a point. Every time that the opposite team scores, they'll get a point for their team. So let's say the red player blocks it and then red defender blocks it and the red attacker scores, they'll finish with 2 points. If the blue player blocks it and the red player blocks it, 1 point for each team, and then the same if both teams scored as well. We will now move into our next animation before moving on to the final part of this week's session. Okay, now moving into the final part of this week's session, we're now moving into a small-sided game-based scenario. So if you have goalkeepers here, so where we're trying to drive into like an area, you can have a goalkeeper there as well, or instead. Now, in terms of the setup, okay, in terms of the depth, okay, so this area here, you just want it to be between 5 and 10 yards because the players, the team who's transitioning to try and score in there is just trying to get it in there, okay, by dribbling. So 5 and 10 yards for there. And then this area in here, okay, you're going to go 40 yards of depth, okay, and 30 yards of width. So 40 yards in here, and then between 5 and 10, then 30 yards of width. Now, one team is aiming to keep the ball. Every 5 passes that the team gets, okay, is a point, okay? Then, after 10 passes, it goes to 2 touch maximum. After 20 passes, it goes to 1 touch maximum. That's just so we've got more chance of a transition. Now, when they lose the ball, okay, the team in red, who's the defensive team, are aiming to get into here as quick as they can by dribbling in there, okay, or by a player receiving the ball in there. So what our aim is, okay, is the blues. So we're keeping the ball here, nice, we're moving about, okay, and then we try and play a ball, it gets blocked. We're not focused on, we've got 3 players behind the ball there. Everyone, as quick as they can, okay, blocking the space off, okay, making it difficult. So the players who are running back, okay, recovery runs to get ball side. Nearest player go and press the ball. The players next to that, okay, prevent the players who are in that area. So these players around here getting the ball, okay, and then they're getting tight. So we're not locking on too early. Okay, we're screening that pass, and if this player gets it, we're pressing them. We win it back, and again, we do the 5 passes. Now, if the team who is transitioning, so they win it back, if they do manage, okay, to get the ball into here, the teams then swap over. This team becomes the possession team, and then the blues would then become the defensive team. So, again, one of our main things is that light switch mentality. Okay, when we lose the ball, not thinking, we've lost it. The first thing is, can we go win it back? First 5 seconds are vital. Okay, so we lose it here. Okay, we've got players. These got players. Let's say around here, we've got players spread out. Okay, look at that. Okay, it's too open. Okay, for the opposition to play through. Close it quickly. Get players ball side. Okay, and then start to think. Okay, we can close down. Nearest man closes down. Then we get players. Okay, can we look to push up? Okay, so it's hard for them to get the ball. This player looks to turn and play. Okay, this player screening that pass. You've got players coming in here. Okay, players coming across, and then this player gets the ball. Again, we suffocate the opposition. They try and turn, they try and play. okay, and then we try and win the ball back. Okay, so we've got to be aggressive in those moments as well, not being all nice, okay, just go as if we're putting pressure on. Be aggressive and make it difficult for the opponents to try and play through us, okay? And again, when the ball goes into a player's feet, make it uncomfortable for them, okay? If the player's not goal side, okay, if he's not ball side, get ball side as quick as you can, okay? Help your teammates out. When it comes into a player's feet, okay, if you haven't got support from players and you don't think you can win the ball, okay, can you slow the player down? Okay, so we spoke about that, delaying, okay, and deflecting away, okay, so players got the back to goal, okay, but you still got players coming back in. Okay, just show them back, okay, and then you can get players ball side, get some support, and then look to retain the shape. So if we can't win it back over that after that first few seconds, okay, can we retain some shape? Okay, can we make it difficult for them to play through? And then when you try and play into an area, look to pressure that ball, get bodies round it, and then when you try and play out, win the ball back. Okay, so that transition is to make sure that they don't get up the pitch, so they don't progress, okay? And if they haven't progressed after those first few seconds and we haven't won the ball back, okay, we go a different way winning the ball back. Okay, we become solid, okay, compact, okay, we let them play in front of us, okay, and then we look to win the ball in the right areas. We will now move into our final animation before concluding this week's session. Thanks for watching this week's video. Don't forget to head over to our website where you can sign up to view over 900 session plans like this. And we'll see you next week for another Session Sunday.